Hey guys, it's David here. Welcome to my daily updates where I go over building $100,000 a year business live in public. So let's go, let's get right into it. And how these usually go is that first I answer your questions and help you with your make scenarios. Then I go through some YouTube stats and then I do some strategy, live yapping, or anything of the sort. So, uh, this is how it looks. You were supposed to see it in the last 10 seconds when I was speaking, but anyways, we're continuing. First thing that I want to check is if there are any new comments, and there are no new comments on the daily updates channel. Let's check if there are any new comments or questions on the other channel. Tito is saying awesome. Thank you, Tito. Do you have any other suggestions of things you would like help with? Let's see if Tito has anything to say. And because we don't have any questions, what I do is I go to this guy, Nick Saraev, and I go over his daily updates and see what people are asking him in the questions, in the
What's up?
comments, and kind of give my own take on it. Damn, 25 comments. That's a lot. Drop OBS template, por favor. I think Nick is actually also saying this kind of switching in OBS. That's where I got it from actually. Very convenient. Patrick is saying, is it somehow possible to use ChatGPT API with like a database of my own information and questions? So the ChatGPT or another AI just uses my data to answer, for example, incoming email or WhatsApp chats. So I'm not very big on building custom GPTs. It's not something that I really focus on, to be honest. But from my understanding, you would need to kind of get your own hosted version of ChatGPT or OpenAI models with your own data, and then you could do what you want to. But to be honest, not that much experience with that. Deep Research Lab is saying, how is your Instagram affect your business YouTube channels? You build a huge list through comment to get. How do you use that then? I suppose that Nick just uses that as a kind of funnel, right, to his school community. So he works with the leads, give them value, and then hopefully they will sign up for school. I should also actually start something like that. I'm going to Asia in a month, and I think I will start some Instagram videos once I'm there as well. Tommy is saying, yo Nick, this is probably gonna be a weird question. What's the best way to lose stubborn belly fat and face fat? I know we can't spot reduce and I work out almost every day, but man, that belly fat does not want to leave, and my face seems to also get fat as well. Curious to know how you tone down the body fat and what sort of food you eat daily. I'll be honest, I consume sugar daily through coffee and it's been mad difficult to stop it, although I always make sure I'm never consuming more than 35 grams of it. Yeah, like to be honest, it's nutrition is one of the things that's incredibly simple yet incredibly difficult to implement. The concepts are very simple. You gotta eat clean. You basically you basically need to eat less calories than your body needs, essentially, if you're trying to lose weight, and the vice versa for maintaining for kind of getting more muscle. The implementation, that's the difficult part, because yeah, it's difficult to manage it. You need to kind of count the calories and also be very consistent in your eating. So what I would recommend you is just to eat more protein, because to be honest, I didn't have this problem. I have more of an opposite problem. But what I find is that when I eat protein, that's being, chicken, some turkey breasts, steaks, etc., I get very full very quickly. you'll eat 300-gram steak, and if you're like me, you will probably be quite full. And then if you check it, let's say rump steak, 100 grams calories, it's actually not that many calories. So this would be around the whole steak. Let's say it's 300 grams, it would be around 375 calories, which is not much, and I guarantee you will be full. Nick, which light and camera are you using? Don't know about Nick, but for me, I use iPhone for camera, and I have some kind of lights in here. I'm not sure if it's visible. Yusuf says, can you please make a video about how exactly to deploy your product to a company with specific details, like who makes the accounts, who buys the subscriptions like Apollo, Epify, Instantly, and if we buy it, how do we use it on their N8N account, or do we use it on our N8N account? Please. I think it depends on the clients, but I think some main subscriptions like Make, N8N, Apollo, they should be paying for it. So what I would have is if they don't already have these kind of software, because sometimes they do, I would have a guide regarding how to register for that software, and then obviously how to add me as a developer in Make, or how to give me access in general. For some other things, if you're just using ChatGPT in one scenario, you can just use your own API. It won't cost that much. So that depends, but for most of the stuff, just kind of get them set up their own account. Study motivation says, oh, that's great, because actually right now I'm in the middle of the exam season, so that's what I need. Study motivation. What is this guy doing? Okay, so it's like one video 3 years ago. Interesting. Study motivation says, I have a deal offer for asset-based outreach system. A previous warm leads wants to do it with me, but they are willing to do it on commission. Now I don't have enough budget to set up the campaign and the system. How should I approach this lead? Considering I have good result from an asset-based outreach system I did for myself, how should I approach it myself? So you see, if they want to do it on a commission, what they're trying to do essentially is to minimize their risk, right? So if you need the money to set up the system on their behalf, I would approach it in a way that calculate the minimum amount of money that you need, so you minimize the risk. That's the first thing. And then once you have that calculated, pitch them with that as a deposit, as a setup fee. Pitch it as a setup fee, which will be, I'm not sure what is the asset-based outreach system, but how expensive can it be, right? If it's like $200, or like even if it would be $500, that's still a reasonable-ish setup fee. Pitch them on that and try to minimize the risk in other ways. So if you're really like 100% sure that your system delivers, give them some guarantee of their money back, including the setup fee. Now, if you don't have the money for the setup fee, this is risky, right? But then it all depends on how you're confident with your product. Alexander is saying, after sending an initial proposal and cold email campaign and securing a project, how do we maintain momentum with the client? Do we keep sending new proposals for every follow-up opportunity, or should we establish a more streamlined process for ongoing collaboration and upselling? Yeah, have a ongoing kind of checkup calls with the clients, or some communication. I'm not saying that it needs to be calls, but you should be in touch with the client and their needs. And it's sometimes difficult, even for me, especially when you're juggling multiple clients and other responsibilities, but you kind of need to keep a tab on their business pulse, on what they're going through and what they need. Omar is saying, Hey Nick, I wanted to know all the details of how to work with and service a client after closing them, but also details on my proposal for them, and also who creates an instant account, for example, and other softwares. Uh, Again, I would be repeating myself. Just have them create the accounts. If they're less tech savvy, create some guides on how to do it. Gary Hustler says, "You mentioned we live in a knowledge economy. Well, not for much longer. What did you mean by that? Curious to know what you're thinking here." Um, I think that we do live in a knowledge economy, right? Uh, Kind of a lot of the at least more well-paid job, they're based on kind of what you know and stuff. But it's changing with the AI. I think that's the bottom line. You need to know less and less things because the AI can do it for you. What's the kind of level about it that we will move to? Not sure. We will see, to be honest. Sarcasm says, "Hey Nick, could you give me a quick rundown on how you make your YouTube thumbnails? Specifically, how do you make them brighter and pop more among hundreds of other videos they likely appear to?" Let's check the YouTube thumbnails actually. Are they more bright? It's interesting. Because I guess that they're just white, That's what makes it pop up, I guess. And maybe there are some
What?
settings for it in Canva. I'm not sure actually. I'm a thumbnail newbie. Mm, okay, I think that's enough for today. What I will do now is to do my YouTube stats and see how I'm doing. So it's May 21st today. The time is running so fast, man. And it's been like almost a month, actually, more than a month. Oh, no, almost a month since I started doing the daily update videos. Crazy. Anyways, let's check. I have 6 subscribers on the daily updates channel.
What's up?
Ah, 6 subscribers on the daily updates channel and 217 on the main channel. So there has been no movement at all in the past day again, but that's okay. 600. Okay. And yeah, I think that's all from me. Right now, to be honest, I need to focus on school, on getting through the end of semester, and then I'll go full force. In business, now I'm kind of maintaining, taking care of the clients that I have, but once I'm done with this, I will start go full force on client acquisition and hopefully move it uh, another level, and then I can kind of let you know how that is going. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Uh, Let me know down in the comments, and yeah, I'll be happy to help you. Bye.